file. So you can see file field. Okay. So from this field, you can upload a particular file. Obviously, this is going to damage the entire thing. So let's just go to the documentation and we'll see what I'm talking about. So Django and docs. So you can just search for model fields, right? Search for model fields. So they have a whole lot. Okay. So this is what I say field types. So I'm very sure you are familiar with the character field, date time field, email field. So we have the file field. Let's see if there's any other one that might be useful to us. Okay. Okay, file field and file path field. But let's just use the file field. So yeah, file field is upload to. So you can see that with the file field we can upload files and you can see storage, maximum length, and all of that. Okay, so you can upload the file. So with this, it will render as uploading a file to a particular path. I don't know if that helps. Hello, Sman. Hello.
So I just have to like add it to the model. So when I add it to the
Yeah.
model, I will now call the model in the um
Yes. So
view, views page.
yeah. So but you have to read the documentation. For instance, if you are handling static files or media files, you have to have a media URL in your Django settings. So let me show you what mine looks like. Where is it? So with that media setting is what you will use to save those files. Or else you need to be able to save those files with your project. Where's my settings? Okay. Yeah. So this is what I mean. So you can see I have something called a media URL here. Can you see that? And I have media routes, OS part or join, then blog slash media. Okay, so you can see my blog app here. You can see a media file. Now this media file saves all the pictures. Now I have another subfolder there that saves in just profile pictures. So if I okay, I saves in just so I have just two Andrea and this guy. Okay, these are just the profile pictures that are present on the page as of now. Okay, but anything other than that is not so you need to set that. So for you, you have to set something like maybe file upload field. Then you can set maybe upload or upload to something like maybe a music file or something like that, depending on what you want to name it as. Okay, so you can see something like okay, they define something like a user directory path. Okay, you can do something like this if you want to, but or you can just say user upload to something like something in okay, let me show you my own so that you see what I'm saying in a very simple format. Okay, yeah, so you can see image. Obviously I'm using this as the default picture in case a user does not upload a picture, for instance. Okay, if the person does not upload a picture, then I want to be able to give it a default picture. And the next thing is what I want to actually show you here is the upload to profile pics. Okay, so I just set this upload argument and I give it a value profile pics. So what happens here is it's going to go into the media folder that is in my settings and create a folder called profile pics here, which is what is happening right now. Okay, All right. So I think regarding that, I think do you still have any questions regarding
Uh,
that?
Alisa,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. Uh, my question is that though I was not able to finish up with the last contact section, so I don't know. Is there like what you are saying now? Maybe is there a particular media website that should be built?
Yes, you have to build a multimedia website. So basically, what you are doing is you are going to be building something that can help you to probably a site that someone can go to and play music, you get, or watch a video.
Okay.
Do you
Oh,
understand? So
oh,
the idea of your models is you need to be able to fetch have that data in your database. Do you understand? Now
okay.
there are two ways to do it. There are two ways to do it. The other way might be too stressful, so you might not have to do that. The other way, the first way or the most basic way is to have some songs. You have songs on your systems now, right? So
Yes.
you can what you can do is have your models, then upload songs into your um, database, for instance. You can also have an option for a user to also upload his own songs. Do you grab?
Yes.
You grab. Now the other way, which is probably the way you probably want to use when you are doing it probably commercially, is to have use an API. Okay, so
Okay.
you should be able to consume API from another service on an endpoint. For instance, YouTube has an API endpoint that you can call and you can get videos and some things from YouTube. Do you understand?
Okay.
So rather than you having to source for those files yourself, you can just consume YouTube's API and be directly rendering it on your page. Do you get what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
so even that one, it might be slow because you are consuming API is slow. A workaround, I don't think people do that mostly because you'll be consuming space. But a workaround is to consume API, okay, and save that data to your database.
Okay.
You
Okay, sir.
understand? Once
Yeah,
you
I
save that
understand.
to your database, you can easily render it. So the general
Okay.
idea is to be able to have a site that somebody can just go to okay and just click on it. You are not
Okay.
posting it obviously, but on your local system. So when you are submitting the assignment from the look of it, I will be able to know whether it is done correctly or not.
Okay. Okay, sir.
But
Okay.
it's not a big deal. Then the other thing you should take note of is your HTML. So when you are arranging something like a audio or a video, HTML has different tags for handling that. Do you understand?
Yes,
So
sir.
for instance, if I show you HTML now, look at me, profile. So you can see something like image. Okay, you can see that I'm making use of an image tag. Do you get? Now
I
if
can't see. I can't see,
you
sir.
can see, oh, you can see my screen. All right. All right. How about now?
Yeah, yeah, I can see.
All right. So you can see that I'm making use of an image tag here.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
You get. So if I don't use an image tag, for instance, it's going to be messed up. It's not going to show the image. It's just probably going to show me this URL. Do you understand?
Yes, yes,
It's going to show me
yes,
the path to where this thing is saved on my system or on the database rather. But since I'm using the image tag and I'm taking it as a source, I'm telling HTML that okay, I want you to fetch an image from this path and display it on my page. So for video, there's a video tag. Okay, can you see that it's asking for the same source file?
yes,
There's
yes,
also audio. Understand? So depending on whatever you
yes,
want to do, so
yes.
it's not really anything too different from what we have done in the class. Do you understand?
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah, it's just a little bit taxing and maybe try to make it creative and all. Okay.
All right,
So
sir. Thanks.
any other question regarding okay, let's start from the last class regarding Django. Is everything about Django clear to us? Is there a need to touch it or revisit? Or I should move backward? So it's a revision class, obviously. So first thing is to try and answer your questions, then probably review some things that I feel we might need to know or might need to refresh our minds on. Anybody?
Sorry, the Django is a little bit difficult for me to follow up.
Okay.
So because I don't really know too much about, because there are many subfolders that the Django is creating, like views, URLs, settings, and
Oh,
everything. So I don't really know, and there are some
oh,
places that will be importing. Import. I don't even know where to import from. So I'm just confused with this
all
Django.
right. All right. So, okay. So that's why we're having a revision class so that we can treat some of these things. So let me open what we used for our assignment, okay? So that we can just explain. So the first thing I'll do is to explain our subfolders, okay? Is to explain what each folder is for, or what the folders we need to concern ourselves with for now is doing. Okay. Yeah, happy class blog. Yeah. All right, that's all right. Okay. All right. I think I have it up. Um. So let me share my screen again. All right. So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, when you open a Django project now, you see this file that has the settings and all. When you create your Django project, right? Django admin.start project. Okay. Now the first file that will be created and whatever name. So the first file we created was this class blog. Okay, which was the very first file that contained the settings and this manage.py file. Can you see it?
Yes.
So you can see something like class.settings, disconnected environment default, set default, Django settings model, and the name of that file. So the folder is class blog, and settings is inside that folder. Okay. Now this manage the PY is very essential to everything we're going to be doing. So it controls literally all of our commands. So that's why we have something like Python manage.py run server, Python manage.py migrate, Python manage.py make migrations, and so on. Python manage.py flush to clear your database and all. Okay, so this manage.py file, we undo all of that for us. Okay, now
Yes, sir.
yeah, now this init file, don't concern yourself with it for now, but these ones will help you with deployment when you are trying to host at all this WSDA application and all. But let's focus on our settings and on our URLs, okay? So we don't have too many technical details. Now our settings is obviously crucial. Okay, now in your settings, obviously, when you create that, okay, we'll come there. Obviously, by default, this blog is not in your settings. So once you create Python, this app for this Django application for the first time, this is what you'll be seeing. Okay, root URL class blog. Then these are templates to help you handle templates and all of that. Um, then you can see the default database. Okay, and password verification. So validators rather. Now another thing you should know is obviously there's a link to each of these in the documentation. So if you want any more information about any particular setting, you can always copy this link and navigate there through your browser and read more about them. Okay. So some of these settings are very flexible. You can adjust the setting to whatever you need, station, the time zone, and everything. Okay. Now I think that's that with the settings. Now the URLs is how Django knows where to go to look for any particular information. Okay. It's how Django actually does that. You need to know. So, For instance, if you have some function in some particular place, okay, that helps you to probably add upload a new image, okay. Let's say the person wants to change his profile picture, and you wrote that function somewhere. Now URLs is also how is how Django will know where to look for that function, and also you also use that to display how it is rendered on the page. Now this is the root URLs. You can see that it is present in our settings.py. So yeah, personally, I don't like these URLs files to be clouded. I don't just like it. So all the URLs I need for my code can actually be placed there. Okay. But I don't like it since it's the root. I just want it to link to other apps and all of that. So I have created the blog app here, which we created with Django admin start Python. I think Python Django admin start project, and we call that blog. Okay. And I now created a urls.py folder. Okay. And I'm not saying that this root directory, I want it to include all the URLs or the URLs file present in this blog folder. Okay. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So let me add my blog in there. So obviously for your application to work properly, if we are creating a new application called blog, now you need to add it to your settings so that Django will know that okay, oh, we have another application called blog. Okay. So the more apps, so you can have multiple apps. Like the other one, you can have an app that, like, obviously for this blog, this folder we handle things like what you can do on the blog now. Upload some content, upload some image, maybe like a post, delete a post, and all of that. Now you can have multiple apps. Okay, you can have an app that controls user. So you can create an app for your user that will handle things like login, the logout system, or change your profile picture, change your biography, change your email address, change your password, and all of that. You can decide to have that in a separate folder entirely. Well, just to make your work a little bit more organized and not having things too choked up in one particular place. Okay, so if you're having views that are very, very long, let's say you're writing views and your views are already getting to probably 500 lines of code, I feel that's a bit too much. You can break that down into multiple apps and it won't necessarily affect what you are doing. Okay, now, so let's start from the views. Now, basically, the views is where we write all the logic or all the functions, all the things that we want our Django application to be doing. Okay. For instance, um, okay, I remember I showed you something like uh, let me let me run this application. Let me run this application. Yeah, so we can see now. This is how it looks like the home page. Okay, that's what it made it look like, right? Now we can I can remove this for instance. Let me remove this for instance. So let's say we don't have a models. I can do something like return, right? HTTP response. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Right. Now, if I do this, this should work fine. All right, so you can see home page displayed here, right? Now, you mentioned something about the imports. All right, so all these imports are from Django. You don't necessarily need to start looking for them up and down. The only thing is, the more you get familiar with Django, the more you work with it, the more imports you will know you need. Now, for instance, when you open this view page, this Django shortcuts that import render is obviously is usually always there. Okay. Now, if you follow the documentation, the first import you would meet is this HTTP response. Okay. So there's no way for me to exactly tell you that okay, this is where to go and find the import. The only thing is based on what you need and based on research, you can find out that okay, at times there are some things you need, and Django already has those modules made up already for you, which is what makes Django cool. Okay, that's okay. This model already is already there. This model is already present. All you need to do is to import it. It's not like you are doing a pip install like you do in a normal Python code. But at times in your Django application, or not at times, many times, you might need external libraries. Okay. And when you have external libraries, what you can do is to just once you do your pip install, if it's in a virtual environment, you should import that library into your project like the normal way. But for at this stage, I don't think we are making use of any external library or any external model. So everything that we need mostly is already attached to our Django application. So all you need to do is to import. Now I can't tell you, okay, for instance, you want to create a form. Okay. Or for instance, you want to work with forms. You want somebody to be able to maybe submit a feedback form, for instance. What you can easily do is okay, I want to create a feedback form in Django. Find out how it is done. Once you find out how it's done, if you go through your documentation and you search for something like forms, for instance, you will see sample code. Let me open the documentation and I will show you what I mean. Okay, see forms, right? And so yeah, search for forms. I can see working with forms. Now, if you scroll down, so it is showing me how to render a form in in HTML. Okay. Now you can see that it's saying that there's something called a forms.py. So if you don't have that, you can easily create that. You can read through documentation and you can see that from there they're already telling you to import from Django, import forms. Okay. So this is already showing you what an idea of what you need to do. Okay. Then you can see, okay, I didn't make use of HTTP response and redirect. Okay. So from here, for things like this, reading through the documentation, you'd be able to know that okay, this is how forms are handled, and this is how we probably write code for form. So you can see this is obviously in the views of PY. You can see what they imported. You can see how they used one thing or the other to render whatsoever form that they did. So the documentation will help you in how to you get do whatever you want to do. I'm not sure if that helps. Is there anything I've said that is confusing so far?
No.
Okay. Now, so this part will help us to so like I said, the views handles most of the logic, most of the things that we are doing. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is the models. Now, obviously, we're working with the database now. Now, we are creating a blog post now. We need a way to be able to say, oh, okay, we need certain kind of information to be stored. Or more precisely, the right word is to, we need tables of data, right? We need tables of data. Now, one good thing about using a framework is unlike the way we handle it in normal Postgres and all of that, where you do the insert function and all of that, create table, delete table, insert, and all of that. Now, with a framework like Django, all you need to do is because the framework can easily connect to a database easily, right? So to create our tables, because this is a table, we basically need to call it a class called post. Now, the name of that table is actually going to be post, just like you named it. And you can give it different attributes that you want it to have. So you have title, description, content, author, date, and whatever, as many things as you want. I can add like, I can add comments, I can add many things. Okay, so if I come to the documentation and see models, okay, you can usually just read what models are. So model is a single definitive source of information about your data. It contains essential fields and behaviors of data that are strong. Okay, so each model is a Python class that subclasses this guy. So I think I explained this, that some of these classes, what you're actually doing is actually a subclass. For instance, um, in object-oriented programming or OOP, where we talked about classes and objects. Okay, if I'm not sure if we got to class inheritance. Okay, but obviously, what I want you to understand that this models the model, okay, is actually a class on its own that has been constructed. Okay, what we're actually doing is we are creating our own class, and we are pulling on, we are taking all the properties of this guy that is in the brackets. Do you understand?
Yes.
We are taking the property of this guy, okay, and we are making use of them. That's what they mean by, okay, that each Python class subclasses this guy. So if I click on it now, you will see the full details of some of them. Okay, you can check. We can decide to look for the source code of all those classes if you want to and read them. Okay. Right. So basically, with our models, we'll be able to create tables where you can have data, so that when you now create a blog post, for instance, if you remember when we talk about classes, classes are like blueprints. If you remember well, classes are like blueprints that are used to create data. For instance, if you want to build a car, for instance, there's usually a blueprint for most cars, in the sense that each car should have a steering, each car should have at least four tires, right? Each car should have seats. A car should have an engine. A car should have brakes. A car should have pedal. What else? A car should have windows, and a car should have lights. Okay, so generally these are things that almost all cars have, like almost every car that you know has. Now with that, we can use it to build a template for a car. Now, as far as you are creating a car, that at the base level or in terms of a template, this is what we are building. Or a better example is in building, when you are trying to build a house. Now, an architect actually does the design, which is the template which everybody follows to build that house. Now, it's the same thing with object-oriented programming. That classes are like the architecture or the design or the templates that we used to follow. So, for instance, we are saying that if we are going to create a post, we expect that any post we are creating should have a title, should have a description, should have a content, should have an author, should have a date, and should have an image. Okay. Now, in some cases, not all cases might be true. That's why if you notice the image, I have something like null and blank. Okay, which is basically me saying that I want it to be possible that, let's say, a user does not want to fill this field, or a user does not want to place anything in this field, or let's say a user does not want to put in an image. Okay, I should not make it mandatory. Basically, that's what null is equal to true is doing. Okay. Do you understand up to this point?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. But I should go over it again.
I'm sure about the model and the views and the settings. Just the stuff. You know, when you said you are going to work with multimedia now, you said I'm going to add some media stuff to the settings. So that is where the wahala is for me. And you know, in the views page, I'm supposed to render my HTML that I created in the views page. So
Yeah,
the code that we used to take in HTML and media again,
it's
that is
not
another
hard now.
stuff.
Basically, this is how it is in my views. Render request, then depart to the HTML. Look at it now.
Like
Log
I
stuff.
understand this one. What I'm saying is that is the HTML stuff. I'm going to
Itself.
like
Okay, that's why it's an assignment. Now you need to research. I already showed you
okay,
that for HTML you can do something like they have audio tags and video tags. Okay, and what you need to do is to pass in that part to that folder, the part in there to your from your database, and it is going to render it. Like the way I have for my image. I think is it home page? Yeah. Okay, it's an application bar. You can see something like post.image.url. Okay, so if you have something like a song attribute in your class, it might be something like post.song.url, and this will not be image, it will be audio. Do you get?
yes, yes.
It will be something like let me just show you audio, something like I can say post audio URL, depending on whatever you named it. Okay, then you can pass in the name of the song. So let's say you have the title of the song, so you can say post song title. Have you? Oh, you can just see. Okay, yeah, should be post the title if it's a song. Yeah, post the title. I don't know what or song title, whatever you named your class. Okay,
Yes.
so it's not really anything difficult per se. Okay. Any other thing? Then for your URLs, obviously. So for your URLs, okay, this was the setting that I was talking about. So you can see that I have static. Then I want to join my media URL, which is in my settings. So you can see my media URL here, okay, and my media root. So I'm saying that I want to join both of them to my URL so that when I'm rendering a picture, for instance, I'm saying that okay, check this part. You can check this part for pictures and images and songs and whatsoever. Okay. If you don't do that, what it means is you want your images must be outside here, like to be seeing it in this place like this, and to make your file look messy. Okay. Then obviously you can see for your view about page, new post, and all of that. So I think with this you'll be able to write a basic Django script without problems. Then okay, yeah, you need to be able to register this so that it can display on your backend on your admin panel. It's not anything big deal. Just say admin.site register.post. So when you log into the database, that's slash admin, you'll be able to see all of this at the back of your code. I'll also send a resource to actually help you with this. I think I did. I'm not sure if I did not, but I think I did. I don't. I think I have not sent that. So I will send that to the class that will help you out with Django. It's a series actually, but it's actually a very good one for you to learn how to do one or two things with Django and finish up. Any other question regarding this?
Not really.
Okay.
Excuse me, Idris.
All right. Come on, sir. All right. Go ahead, sir.
No, sir, please.
Okay.
The HTML files you have here,
Yeah.
is it to be imported? Or are we to write the HTML codes?
I wrote my HTML code, but obviously this is Bootstrap. I didn't write this one from the scratch. You know about Bootstrap?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I just use Bootstrap. So it's not the series I'm going to send to the class actually makes use of Bootstrap. So you don't have to trouble yourself with writing and doing all the styling. Unlike the other one I was doing before. The other one, the first one I showed you, you notice I had CSS folder. So those
yeah.
ones I had coded those ones. But with Bootstrap you can do a very simple design like what we have here I actually am not so familiar with Bootstrap, so I mostly don't like using it for my own personal work. But it makes life easier actually. I'm not just familiar with it, but it's actually very simple. If I sit down with it, I'll be able to do it. But I like for now, I like to add code or probably just do one or two things. But you can always make use of Bootstrap. Bootstrap is very easy to use. They already have predefined designs. You can always go through their site. Once you just set Bootstrap 5 or Bootstrap 4, whatsoever, you see how to play around with those navigation. All you need to do is to import the CDN. Obviously, you are still going to write some basic HTML, like this one, like something like
Okay.
this. Okay, I didn't write this. I copied this from Bootstrap. I copied all of this from Bootstrap. The only thing you probably be adding is all this for post, in post, and for blog content. You understand? You replace a little things like this nav bar. Instead of having something like nav, I changed this to Bincom class. You get about
Yeah.
create post and all this thing. So those you tweak it at one point or the other. It's not a big. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Then the other thing that you would need to do is to import Bootstrap at the beginning of your code like this. Can you see it?
Yeah.
You get? So you need to import that at the beginning of your code and you'll be able to do it. But if you want to write your HTML yourself, it is not a problem.
Nah, nah. I don't plan on doing that. That's another work.
Okay. Okay. So okay, that's not a problem. So is there any other thing I'm running out of power that you want us to discuss or we are good with the all the contact sessions?
Yeah, for now. But for the website, it could be anyone as long as it's with Django, right? Like it could be any
The
for any
the
purpose.
the assignment specifically said you create a multimedia website, so
Multimedia website.
that's what we're talking about. So it's basically a site where you can play music from the site or watch a video from the site.
Okay. But the files that we posted there, can they be hosted from another site? Something like that.
And that means you probably want to use something like an API, an endpoint. You want to consume an endpoint.
Yeah.
If you can do that, it is fine. But the simple way was how I explained to Usman that have a model that does something like something. I'm sorry, something called a file upload. Okay, a file field is in the documentation. I showed it previously.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, you'll be able to upload files from your system, or if an external person is using it, let's say you have a login, a page to upload files on that site. You understand? Like adding
Yeah.
a form. You get that option will allow you to also be able to upload that file and render it on your page. Okay, so it's coming from your system. But if you want to use an external source, so you probably want to consume API, okay,
Yeah.
that will be rendering all of that straight up to your page. So whatever method you can do is fine.
All right. No problem.
Okay, any other question?
What
Um,
about this sixth and seventh contact session? Especially
this
this
is
sixth. There's no
this is a
assignment.
revision class. It's a revision class. Okay, the assignment would be to attempt. I will send it to attempt to host on Heroku, but I think Heroku is no longer free, so I don't think. Well, I would research on that. I'm not sure it is still free.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not sure it's still free. Well, I'm very sure I'll also send a tutorial on how to use Git commands and all of that. But there's an option for an hosting site. I send that Digital Ocean. You get $200 free for 2 months on opening an account with them. So you can use that as your hosting service. It's very simple to use.
Okay.
Okay.
So in this second contact section assignment, here it says extraction of baby name.
Yeah.
This is so specific using baby name.
Yes, there's an HTML file attached to that thing in the LMS. Or you can check the group chat. Somebody dropped it on the group chat. Baby name 2008 or something like that.
The group chat on
Or
WhatsApp.
the Slack channel rather. There's actually
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So you have to use regular expressions to extract that name from that HTML file. So it's not hard. You're just writing a pattern. In that pattern, you are going to be able to use regular expressions to extract that name from that HTML file.
I guess your battery has died also.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. What happened?
Sorry, my system went off, so I
Yeah.
ran out of
Yeah.
power. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. So what I was saying is with regular expressions, you can you just need to target find a pattern. There's a pattern for how that HTML was built to do that. So you can find that pattern and probably run a loop to extract each of those elements and just write it into a file.
Yeah.
I think that will
Okay.
get everything.
No, I was just trying to understand why the baby name was so specific. And the
Okay.
HTML you're talking of, is it the one that says resource to learning Django? Because I see no.
No, go to contact session. Go to the contact session, the second contact session on LMS. Click on the assignment. When you click on assignment, you see the question. The file should be there.
Okay, maybe 2008. Okay.
Yes. So yeah. So see if you can open that file because that was the complaint the last time that the file was not loading. So somebody dropped it
It
on the
it's
Slack
it
channel,
doesn't open, it downloads instead.
and like they said, the file is empty. There's nothing in it. So there
Yeah,
was no
it's
HTML.
empty.
Yeah, so it's actually on the channel. So just scroll up. You will see, I think it was Michael that dropped it. See if I can remember. I'm not sure. I think it was Michael that dropped it. So you can
Okay.
just yeah.
I'll search it then.
So any other thing you might want us to discuss? Michael, welcome. Manuel, welcome.
Yeah,
No,
sorry,
nothing.
sir. I had to do something. That's why I was not available. So I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, and the question is that concerning the assignment that was given to us, I have a little bit challenge, which is creating a to-do app and making use of Postgres for storage.
Okay.
Yeah, my it's not that really clear because basically the way I know actually that okay Django when you create your there's always a view. You create a table, and when
Okay.
you save stuff, it goes automatically. But me, the issue I have is, after building the to do app with Python, pure Python, like, and it is running on the terminal. Create this. I can delete. I can update. My issue is
Okay.
now how to now uh make use of this particular
Postgres.
uh, years to store.
Okay. Okay. This is the idea. It's not a big deal. Okay. My system is down. Just went off currently. So this is the general idea. You have your function working, right?
Yes, yes, I am
Now,
available.
you know how to connect to Postgres database with Python, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Now,
Yeah.
once you do that, the next step is to create tables on your Postgres database that you've created.
Okay,
You got so create your table. So let's say you have your tax, your to-do list that says title of tax, time of tax, and status. Okay.
okay, sir.
Now, when you create your function that actually creates your to-do list, so what your function should do is for every time a to-do list has been created at the first base, let that information be saved into the Postgres tables.
Okay. Should I share my screen, sir?
Okay, you can share your screen.
So let me just share. Okay, this is the to do app that I just, and I was trying to create a database for it. Can you see, sir?
Okay. Yeah, I
So
can.
so yeah. So sir, you can continue. This is what I've actually done.
All right. So you've created a table, right? Now, the
Yeah.
next thing you need to be able to do is to find a way that once I'm assuming that you created your to-do list functions inside the function, Abby.
Yes, in a separate file.
Okay, yeah, in a separate file. So
Yeah.
what you need to do is that you need to find a way in a way to do it in such that every time the function is called and somebody creates a to-do app, for instance, a to-do list something, for instance,
Yeah. Yeah.
that that thing that is saved or the output gets
Yes.
saved into your database rather
Yes.
than just
Yes.
I mean that's what the
Yes.
problem is. You don't know how to
y-
do it.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. Um First thing is since you're in a separate file, right?
Yeah. Yes.
In a separate file. Now, what you need to do is to have a. I'm giving you a logic. I'm not giving you the direct way to solve it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Now, since you've connected to a database successfully and
Mm.
you've created tables, right?
Yes.
Now, obviously in Postgres there will be with Python there will be a way you can call something like a save function, right?
Okay. Okay, sir.
There's a way to do to create some to call a save function, right? Or another way we can say is to insert.
Okay.
I'm very sure
From
you would have come,
from
yeah, from
from
Postgres. There's something called insert into tables
yeah.
now.
Yes,
Now,
inserting tables. Yes.
so
Yes.
what you need to do is to get the output from your Postgres. Now, the best way to do it is your to-do app rather. Let it return your to-do list, whatever, in a dictionary.
Okay.
Do you understand? So you have something like a key value pair,
Okay.
so that when you are inserting data into your Postgres table, you can call those dictionary keys and insert it directly and save that information. Do you get the idea?
Okay.
You get the scope, Abby?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
So once you do that, you'll be able to insert. So just try the insert method. Okay. Try to insert something first of all that is not even in your to-do list. Learn how to just insert stuff. The next thing to
Okay.
do is learn how to insert things from a dictionary into your Postgres table. So create a
Okay.
dictionary. Do you understand?
Okay.
Put items that you have that corresponds to the tables you have in your database, obviously, and try to insert stuff from that dictionary. Once you can do that, you should be able to do that with your to-do app.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So you will just call your to-do app function, you will get your result as a dictionary, then
Okay.
you insert that into your tables.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
You get the idea?
Yeah, yeah, I get. I get, sir. Okay.
So any other question? Any other thing regarding any of the contact sessions?
No, for now. There is
Oh,
maybe.
so someone should tag me to send the resource. So I will send the resource for the Django series. I'll also send one for this Postgres and Python. Okay, so that we'll
Okay, sir.
just yeah. And if you have a resource that helps, okay. I actually have okay, I can't send that, but it's fine. That would be a direct answer to your problem. But it's fine. Okay, so I don't have power right now, so I would have love to probably have a longer session. I'm actually connected from my phone. So I think we can call this a day. So if you have any problems, if
Yeah.
anything, you can always tag me on Slack. So I'll
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
do my best to respond quickly. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. So you can
I will see. I will
yeah,
see
we'll have
even.
a great day,
I
everybody.
will see. I will see even have to tag you concerning this my Postgres team or how.
Okay, no problem. It's normal. It's normal. Okay, yeah. So have a great day.
Yeah, you too, sir.
Yes, sir.
You too.
Yeah,
Good
thank
night,
you,
sir.
boss.